there's a proposed bill in New York that's going to make it even more fun because it will allow officials to detain people they think are sick. A bill introduced by New York State Assemblyman would give Governor Andrew Cuomo the authority to remove or detain someone deemed a threat to the public health. States that a questionable individual or group of people, quote, shall be detained in a medical facility or other appropriate facility or premises designated by the governor. That doesn't sound like a concentration camp at all. That does not sound like Nazi Germany at all. Or communist China right now, as a matter of fact. Even those, get this, even those without an illness can be confined if they've had contact with someone who might have been sick, despite the fact that they were symptom-free. Wow. Okay. New York is really on the right track right now, I think, as far as people's liberties.
Did you sniff?
Yeah, a little bit. I just got a little bit of a cold, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Cody Anderson, who's the chairman of the Libertarian Party. Oh, so you know he's a kook and won't like this.
Okay.
He said, let's put aside for a moment the egregious privacy violation in issuing an order announcing an individual to be a health risk. This bill offers a clear and direct path to unconstitutional and indefinite detainment on the governor's sole authority. No U.S. state was ever meant to have a single person acting as judge and jury without checks or balances. If this bill is allowed to pass, that's exactly what New York will have. We once again demand that legislative leaders be principled when they claim my body, my choice. Mm-hmm. They must not pick and choose. Mm-hmm. My body, my choice. That only applies in the case of abortion. So I don't know what this guy is talking about. You mean, that's only for abortion.
Right.
Like you can't eat what you want. you can't drive what you want. So don't try that stuff with us.
Wear a seatbelt if I want?
No, you can't.
I
You have to wear one regardless of whether you want to. So,
okay.
Yep. So it really isn't your body, your choice, except in the case of abortion.
What about schools for my kids?
No, just an abortion.
So I can kill my kid, but I can't educate them where I want?
Exactly right. Now you're getting it. You like it?
Stupid world.
I know. In Canada now, there was a police raid. They raided a home of a person suspected of having
drugs.
Or was it a huge gun cache?
Okay.
Maybe a cache of guns?
Dead bodies.
Dead people buried in the basement.
Wow, really?
Like the old ladies in Arsenic and Old Lace, where they bury all those guys in the basement because they're a little wacky.
Okay.
That's
what it was?
Here's what they had. Something even more egregious.
No.
They had more than 6 people inside that home. More than 6 people. These people don't deserve to live.
So they sent in the police force.
Yeah. Check this out.
I can't.
Unbelievable.
I can't take it. Choking him.
Good gosh, man. Got it. They're manhandling this guy out of the home.
Are you for real?
Because there's more than 6 people in it.
I can't.
Wow.
I can't take it.
Okay, we're calm.
Wow.
I'm sorry, that's evil. I don't care if you're following orders, that's evil.
Yeah. I mean, words fail. Gestapo?
But look, that's a foreign country. That's way over there.
Yeah, right. Don't even worry about
It's
that.
not over here.
That can't bleed into the U.S. That'd never happen here.
Seriously.
We've got a
Canada.
Constitution.
It's Canada.
Unreal.
And we've been very close. Remember, we had there was a Jewish gathering in New York.
Yeah.
And they came into that house. They're like, what are you doing? I don't know. Hanging out with my friends, praying. Shut up. I mean, we are out of control.
Very much so.
We're past the edge.
Yep.
Yeah, we're Wile E. Coyote holding a sign at this point.
Yep. I would not be surprised to see this bill in New York get passed.
Yeah.
Where if they think you're sick or you've been near somebody who's sick, that they can put you in a detention center. Unbelievable. These are things you couldn't have imagined in your wildest nightmare just a year and a half or 2 years ago. You know, you talk about, 10 years ago, you couldn't imagine. It's a year and a half ago, really. In fact, 1 year ago at this time.
Less than. Like, seriously. The high watermark for Western civilization was like March 1st, 2020.
And it's been downhill ever since. Also, it's another hopeful sign for you. From, again, Governor Cuomo. He hopes to speed up vaccinations by threatening $100,000 fines against hospitals. He said yesterday, the state's health department will issue fines of up to $100,000 to hospitals that don't distribute all of their coronavirus vaccines by the end of this week, saying he wants to get needles in arms as quickly as possible. And if you don't, you're going to be fined $100,000. He also said hospitals will be required in the future to use up all their vaccine doses within 7 days of receiving the allotment every single time. What if you don't have that demand? What are you supposed to do? If not enough people want your stupid vaccine, you're going to have to force it on them so that you don't get fined $100,000?
Yeah. You want to see this smug turd?
Yes.
Okay, here, let's play that.
We want it in people's arms as soon as possible.
He is
New
frightening.
York State Department of Health sent out a letter yesterday to all hospitals that said if you don't use the allocation by the end of this week, the allocation you've received by the end of this week, you can be fined and you won't receive further allocations. We'll use other hospitals who can administer it better. It also says from the day you receive the allocation, you have 7 days to use that allocation.
I see.
This is a very serious public health issue. And Department of Health, Commissioner Zucker is very firm about making sure the hospitals step up and deliver here. So any provider who does not use the vaccine could be fined up to $100,000. Going forward, they have to use the allocation within 7 days.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can be removed from future distribution.
Good. And fined $100,000. Let's not forget that. This is the same guy, by the way, who said...
We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great.
Okay, and he's making it even less great than he thought it was when he said that 2 years ago. Wow. How much worse can it get with Cuomo in New York? Is anybody ever going to step up and say, hey, why don't you shut your yap hole? Because you're responsible for the death of how many thousands of elderly from your policies. And you've been wrong-headed and screwing this up since day one. Why don't you sit down and shut up?
Why don't you shut your yap hole? I love it.
Somebody's got to say that to him. Exactly those words. Why don't you shut your yap hole? Okay? What a menace. He's a stinking menace.
Yep.
And by the way, again, speaking of menaces, don't forget to vote in Georgia today. And I know we've all got the concerns about the election, whether or not it's being done fairly and accurately. But you got to do what you can, right? It has to be, you have to get out and vote. And then see if we can overwhelm them to the point where they just can't steal the election.